Welcome. In front of me is a Xiaomi Redmi Note 9T, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So we're gonna start off with probably the most common one. So it's gonna be the dark mode, and there is two ways you can actually enable dark mode. So one is a permanent dark mode under the settings. There's usually sometimes a toggle, and actually we do have a toggle, so you can tap on it to permanently enable it or disable it, whatever you want. And additionally, if you go into the settings under the display, you will have the switch, but also if you go right here, the dark mode, toggle this on, you'll have options so it turns on and off automatically at a given time. So you can have it set that during the daytime you have light mode, and during the nighttime you'll have dark mode, which is something that I consider to be a very nice addition. Now moving on to the next option, also under the display, it's going to be the color scheme, which will allow you to change it from things like a little bit oversaturated display to something more standard, as an example. Now here, selecting standard, when you go from like recommended auto to standard, you might feel like the screen is yellowish. To be fair, it does add a little bit yellow tint to it, but it's nothing obscene. It's something similar what I would compare to something like iPhone's True Tone display. Might not be as good, but personally I don't like my images to be super saturated like these are. And on the camera this looks a little bit worse than it actually is in person. If I drop the brightness, maybe it might look a little bit better. But yeah, the colors here are oversaturated in my opinion, so selecting it to be standard will help just a little bit. Now obviously you can also go with a saturated if you want to and make it a little bit more obscene. So anyway, moving on to the next option, it's going to be the home screen style. Now by default, Xiaomi comes with this kind of like iPhone-ish feel where all the applications that you install get put on your home screen. So all of the installed apps are basically over here, and there is basically nothing apart from search bar when you pull up. So what we can do is actually change it back to the app drawer, which is something that I prefer on my Android device. So let's go to settings and then find home screen right here, and then home screen once more, and it's set to regular. Obviously companies didn't realize that regular on Android means up drawer. That's what every Android had before, and I'm not sure when we decided to change that to be regular. But anyway, from here we can change it to what I would consider the default Android state, which is the app drawer. And once you leave, you can now pull up and bring your app tray. Give it a moment, it needs to load up the first time around. And one addition here with the Xiaomi is that they do have categories, and that is a really nice thing that we have in this app tray. Normally applications are just smack in the middle, all jumbled up in maybe not jumbled up, but basically in alphabetical order. But here, in addition, you have categories which will automatically drop applications based on their category. So communication, as you can see, mail, LinkedIn, messages, contacts, Duo, Facebook. Not sure why Chrome is here, but whatever. This sorting isn't perfect, as you can see. Entertainment and so on. Now there's also additional part to it. You can actually edit it yourself, so you can remove categories, and you can also create your own categories and drop apps into it that you want. So you basically have full control over it, and it is a really nice thing. So going on to the next option, it's going to be bringing the gesture navigation, because again, for some reason it wasn't actually given as an option throughout the setup. Let me quickly fix this up. There we go. So all we need to do is navigate into the settings, and then we're gonna scroll down to additional settings, full screen display, and in here you'll find full screen gestures, which kind of a weird name for it, but once you enable it, you can go to learn or not now. Not now, and there we go. It removes the buttons from the bottom and substitutes them for gestures. And if you never used this before, they're fairly simple, but just way nicer to use. So as an example, you swipe up to go home, swipe up and hold to go to recent, and swipe from either side to go back. So now going into showcasing this, there we go. There's the back gesture, as you can see. It works from either side. then swipe up and hold goes to recent, and simple swipe up goes home. And in addition, if you never use those, when you're trying to perform the swipe up gesture, either the recent or the home, I do recommend you to start on the bezel, not on the screen, which will ensure that you always get the gesture correctly. And now moving on to the last one, probably the quickest one, that's going to be the simple split screen, which will allow you to use two different apps at the same time. Personally, my favorite use of it is with YouTube. It allows you to listen to music while basically being able to still access home screen and other applications without pausing whatever you're listening to. So all you need to do is open that app, go to recent, hold it, and tap on this tiny little two bars right here. And there we go, we are now in split screen. You can go home if you want to, choose another application that you want to split screen with, resize it as well, and use those two apps. So there we go. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.